Hello and welcome. I'm the Restless Kaiser.
And I am James Workshop, and together we are...
Modelling for Advantage! Whoa, whoa, whoa. So James, what we got here? Whoa.
The Warrior starter set.
The Warrior starter, are we warriors?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so Age of Sigmar starter set. They've got a range of 3 boxes, right? They got this one is £32.50 retail. I think I checked that. I think it was. And we're going to review this for you with a view to on the channel. We're going to play some introductory games.
Yes,
you're going to learn me up, aren't you?
Oh, I played some Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I played the second edition. Not the new one yet. But...
While I rip this open, do you want to tell them what's in the box then, James?
I certainly can.
So I'm going to give that, grown man fails to open plastic thing.
This box contains an 80-page Warrior Edition starter book, a 56-page core rules rulebook. Oh, that's the good one. A gaming board and flat pack terrain feature. It's got terrain in it. Look at that.
Flat pack terrain. That's the box tray. Boom!
10 6-sided dice, 2 range rulers, 2 reference sheets, 4 war scroll cards, and 2 allegiance ability cards. Then the actual real bit. So 18 Citadel miniatures.
Oh, that's it.
We've got 6 Stormcast Eternals, which is a Knight Arcanum of 5 Vindictors, not Vindicators.
Oh, they're Vindictors, not Vindicators.
Which is the Spear Boys.
Vindictors.
Spear Boys.
Is that because they've already used the word Vindicators somewhere else in the list?
Vindicator, Indicator. So we got 11 Cruel Boys, which is a killer boss with Stab Grot, and then 10 Gut Rippers. So 6
It's a bit leathery.
Is it? Let's get this.
I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
Oh, I just need to check out the scenery that comes in the box. Give me a moment.
Oh yeah, sorry. The scenery that comes in the box is here.
It's a bit leathery.
So,
That's very odd.
Fact. So it's curious because why would that box smell leathery? No. To start with, bit of scenery in the box. Look, this is a rookie set. You know, the 12-year-old kid going to get this for his birthday. If you were talking about an out-of-the-box experience, I think it's a nice idea to just include that as a little something.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And we're going to use this bit of scenery in our battle reports.
It costs them nothing.
Yeah, well, they're going to print it. They're going to print it.
Well, yeah, but they're going to print a box anyway, aren't they?
So shall I check that everything's in here that it says it was in if you have the box? So what from the top?
From the top, 80-page Warrior Edition starter set.
All right, okay. I can't do it from the top.
That's probably not the way we want to do this.
All right, we'll get the bits out. We'll move the bits to one side. So we will do.
Oh, made it.
All right, I'm now ready to do the checks. I think I'm now ready to do the checks.
So an 80-page Warrior Edition starter book.
I've got to say, 80-page Warrior Edition starter set. I assume that's what this is.
Yeah, it all comes in a nice little plastic bag.
80 pages. I mean, you know, it's perfect bound. So it's not beautiful. In terms of the binding, but it is a lovely book. But you remember we had the similar thing with the war cry, the manuals. I think they've really pushed out the production values on these. I mean, look at that. That's not the kind of thing that you get in a bit throwaway.
That's a 5th edition codex. You can spend 15 to 20 quid on this.
You know, yeah, the production values are high. One assumes that it's all spelt correctly. It's got sections on building your miniatures. It's got sections of, you know, aging dudes playing the game. That's what it's all about.
Well, where's the picture of someone rolling dice and the other person pointing? That's got to be in here somewhere.
Oh, right. Well, you could have that as a little mission. So lots of this is fluff, Era of the Beast, and so forth. And then the particular story in relation to this, some stuff about Cruel Boys, which you might be able to tell them. And then...
There's a person pointing, and then there's someone over here holding dice, about to roll them. Every book.
Is that how it goes?
Every book has someone rolling dice and someone pointing.
Is how it goes. Okay, so we then move on. Start playing section.
Yep.
Which is 60 pages in, so there's a lot of fluff in there.
60 pages of fluff.
But look, it's literally got some basic battle plans in there. You play these missions. And the way that they work is it's all carefully scaffolded. It says, so the first mission is going to teach you how the fight phase works. And then the second mission is going to teach you how cover works. It's called high ground, you know, that kind of thing. The third one's got shooting. So, we will go through these, but if you are brand new to these systems, rather than saying here is the rules and some data sheets, they take you through the core mechanics one step at a time. So that's that. What was the next thing?
This to me is a new thing from Warhammer. which is a 56-page core rules booklet. So previously, whenever I've seen a rule booklet that come in a box, it was just a miniature version of the big book with all the fluff cut out. Whereas this seems to be an actual like little unique book. I might be wrong in that, and this could just be the end of the rulebook, and this is actually all the relevant parts of that giant rulebook. I doubt it somehow.
Unfortunately, we don't know Sigmar well enough, or have the current edition Dominion book. But it does look like it might be just the rule set. What it isn't is that like 8-page fold out that you got with 8th edition that had the basic mechanics on it. And it isn't full of fluff. So this is good because, again, with the scaffolding, you've got your scripted missions that teach you the basics. It's then given you, if this isn't the rules, then it's many of the rules. It's a place to go before forking out for that big rule book. You even get some, look, you get some idiot sheets.
Yeah, rules references, love them.
Rules references. And again, it's not just a white bit of paper, you know, it's nice, good quality cardstock with a kind of faux stony effect. Nice production values and all this stuff, really solid.
Especially for a £32.50 box.
Yeah.
We're not pretending here.
We're really. I know we're kind of gushing because I think Games Workshop have really pitched up with their starter sets. I think they've been learning, and to that end, with their instructions, their new generation instructions. Absolutely brilliant. So these are almost certainly push fit miniatures. We'll have a bit more of a look at that later. That's how they tend to do these things. But again, with not only are the colour instructions taking you through step by step, they give you photographs and the sprue guides. This is this sprue, this is that sprue. And then it goes like, you know, build this model in this order. The blue bit is attached, the yellow bit is glued. All of those things, fantastic. I work in a school, as many of you watch the channel would know, with 12-year-old kids. When they buy the starter sets, they turn up with the stuff already built in and had got painted. When they buy one of the old mainstream kits, they come in and they say, "Sir, this doesn't work." How does that work?
With his elbow in his head.
Yeah, and then I'm there with the blade trying to pop off the misshapen arm or whatever else. You know, veteran modelers love the multi-pose stuff, but actually to a lot of kids, they buy something like an Inventor tactical warsuit and they just cannot put it together.
So we've got a gaming board and flat pack terrain feature. It's a double-sided board. It's glossy. The older one had a bit of a silk feeling.
We might not be able to use this on camera.
That's true.
Because that's very, very shiny. Just looking at it, that is very shiny. And although we've got diffused light in here,
put one of them on
I think. I feel like it's an advert for Pledge or something. You know, furniture polish.
Getting glare from the other side of the room.
But mate, again, quality for a starter set. Paper playmat, absolutely critical for immersion in a new game system. I find it hard to criticise starter sets for not having a playmat, but I really, really appreciate when they're doing it.
Definitely.
So remember, okay, you know, we're a YouTubing channel, we've got a lot of play surfaces, but I was that 13-year-old kid who got something for his birthday. And the scenery I had was some video cases, and the playmat was my duvet. You know,
it was a
this is better than
sheet with some books under it for lumps.
You know, this is better than that. This is better than that. All right.
What we got next? We've got 10 6-sided dice.
10 6-sided dice, Although they've got a little bit of weight to them. They're not quite cracker dice. They're not quite. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be using them. They're not quite cracker dice, though.
If you've seen Games Workshop 12mm dice, they're Games Workshop 12mm dice.
No, I think on yes, because the ones that you got in that Recruit edition stuff, they were like cracker dice. They were extra lightweight, super cheap. So these are slightly better. I mean, I was going to say, who doesn't want another 10 dice? But actually, I'm drowning. At some point, I'm going to have a big bin. You know, if we ever run a convention or something, just a giant bin of dice from starter sets that we've unboxed. Said 50p a fistful, as many as you can get in your hat.
2 range rulers.
2 range rulers.
With
now,
new ones, I think.
They do. Right, so I am on my Wargames table here, and there's all bits of flock coming out. So you see, look, I've been flocking trees. Not for Sigmar, just in general. We're on a Wargame. So
quite static.
It's nice that they're very static and rubbing the flock off has gone the other one. It's nice that they stylise these rulers. And of course, you're of a generation with Warhammer. You remember a very different type of measuring stick.
Whippy sticks.
Whippy
sticks.
Yeah. You get a pair of those to lash your opponent with.
You do, yeah. You get a bit of string, turn it into a bow, and then start firing.
Right. Are these important? Well, again, if you're
I'd say so.
If you're an absolute rookie, out the box game experience, brilliant.
I don't want to go too far ahead and say I don't think anything in this box is more than 12 inches. So this will do you if you're just getting started.
We'll get to that in a second.
If you didn't have it, you'd have to ask your mum for a measuring tape, and you'd have absolutely nothing.
She goes into the sewing kit, brings out one of them fold out one, not a not one that unwraps. Yeah, the real stuff. So James has played Sigmar before, semi-pro, and we do love a semi on this channel.
Oh, we do.
So James, if you want to talk about the numbers, and I'll try and match that up with one of the sprues that I can show them.
So first, we have a Knight Arcanum, who is a wizard.
I needed a little bit of a cut there because I need to find him. Right, I'm a wizard, mind you.
It is.
This is something that they've done with some of the other star sets I've seen, is the matched heroes or the opposed heroes. They've put the two that are going in the set together. So this is actually on a sprue with the Orc dude. So the Knight Arcanum, then, there he is.
Is a wizard.
He is a wizard. He looks a lot like he is monopose. Not monopose, push fit. He closes together front and back and it grips his arms in place.
That is a push fit model.
That is a push fit model. You got an option of... The heads are nice because they look like little sculptures. Have you seen those? Maybe you see it up close. Just because of the way it kind of fits inside the body before you press it too. It's got a bit of a plinth at his sound, that sort of jaunty angle. They make an interesting bit of scenery.
It might very well
as a broken statue or something there. And of course, it's got what you see in a lot of the newer Games Workshop heroes. Rather than giving you an entirely separate sculpted base, they've given you a sculpted base topper.
That sticks to a base.
That sticks to a base. And it isn't level. So I'm not sure. Or maybe this guy might just stand up without it. Because, of course, people who use clear bases or other types of scenic bases really don't like it.
Yeah, Johnny, the one person I know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, tell us about the numbers.
We can have a quick look at the numbers. They have 3 attacks with their Valedictor's Stave. 3 to hit, 4 to wound, -1 rend, D3 damage. That's okay. That's not a combat profile, but it's perfectly fine.
For a wizard.
For a wizard.
And he can punch you at 2 inches away with his magic stick.
It does have range, which is important in this game, because you can step people away, and some people can be in range and out of range.
Yeah.
You can attempt to cast 1 spell and unbind 1 spell per turn.
Is that dispel?
Yeah, that's a dispel, yeah.
Cool.
So...
Wizards.
It has its own specific spell called the Blaze of Heavens, which I suspect you'll see in the starter games. We'll get to that another time. But yeah, there's also generic ones in the box, just like 40k.
All right, so that's not mini K. And is it a lady?
No, I can't. I believe that is a female model.
It's a lady.
Yeah. I have a theory that I've just invented, which is I think that the men have separated pecs, whereas the women tend to have a singular chest plate. The female models tend to be a little slighter, but not by much.
Right.
And the men have like a crease between the pectoral.
Whereas the ladies have a continuous bulge.
Yeah.
Vindictors then, James.
What's called Vindictors?
Having a look at these, as 3 bits of sprue.
Yeah, it's 3 bits of sprue for 5 models.
Nice.
I'll start by their design. They don't look quite so chunky and like they all need to take a crap like the old
like the other Stormcast.
Squat things for the early Stormcast. They're actually really like they're slightly thinner, a little more real scale than the old ones were. I think they were going for a bit of a like these are living statues thing early, and
they're really stoic, aren't they?
Which didn't look quite right. Yeah. But as they're starting to humanise them as the story goes on, I think they're making them a little more human.
I mean, they've got giant spears.
They do have very long spears.
Very long spears. Shield's pretty solid, but some of the posing, I think I looked on these.
Yeah.
Is a bit odd for them as a unit. It's like, these are not going to look like a pike phalanx, but as 5 different guys holding a spear that looks like it should be used in a unit, then they are. They've done a good job just looking at this art page here of making each of these models look quite different, which, given the fact that they're just gold-plated demigods, that's a good thing.
So, as a man who's built a large number of custodes at this point, I've
custodians
in my time, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for custodians. What you find is that this looks great for 5 models,
Yes.
Even though there's some variability to the way you can build the Custodies, it looks great for 5 models, but there isn't a specific set of arms for a body and a pair of legs. But they look wrong if you don't do it that way.
Right.
So if you try and move things around a little bit, it doesn't end up looking that good. So when these end up as multi-part kits, I think they'll probably struggle in the same way as the Custodies did to make them look individual. Yeah.
Although it's more common for them to show a few faces on these, just to give it a little bit of that.
That humanity I was talking about.
That humanity which the Stormcast don't have, right?
They have basically Space Marine profile, except they move 5 inches. So wounds 2, bravery 7, save 3 up. So they're pretty good for that. So did the Knight Arcanum 3 up. They have 2-inch range on the spears, which is super helpful. 2 attacks, 3 to hit, 3 to wound, -1 rend, and 1 damage. That's a basic combat profile. There's nothing special about it.
But they do a mortal wound on a 6 with this Storm Soul Arsenal.
They certainly do.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, just for standard unit.
Ain't nothing.
All right, and you got your keywords and stuff. And I'll go more on that later. All right, again, they're interesting looking models. I like the shields. I like the fact it's got more of that kind of scale mail mixed in with the plate. It's not historically sensible, but this isn't a historic model. No. This is a fantasy model. So before we move on to the Cruel Boys, then, if I can just check with you, for those of us that don't know, tell us a little bit what Stormcast.
Okay.
There's billions of them, and they're actually all different armies.
So this might be entirely wrong and based on old information, but I'll tell you what I know about the Stormcast.
You tell us what you know.
So the early Stormcast background was basically that basically everyone was dead. When the world got exploded.
Boo!
So the Stormcast were the souls of ancient heroes that were bound into armour. So the dead people were brought back and put into armour. I have no idea how accurate that is anymore. But
it sounds legit.
So they made separate forces similar to the way that Space Marines were made, for reasons I have absolutely no idea.
Right. Like different legions of the dead.
There's basically different legions of these guys.
But you can't just plug these into any existing, unfortunately.
I must once again refer to the Space Marines, because they've basically done the same thing where they did like these are the regular guys, these are the magic guys who have less armor, and then like these are the heavy guys who have more armor thing.
Yeah.
They've done the exact same thing. So
you can stitch them together using the kind of grand alliances like Order or whatever, but they are technically different armies. And different books, which is more money.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. How all that stuff works. So that was looking at the Stormcast, which was great. But one more thing. Allegiance abilities. Mate. Allegiance abilities. Yeah, I did see that.
So
just thought that looked like, episode 2 type stuff. Let's go. Allegiance abilities.
Yeah.
So these that sort of chapter tactics or army wide rules.
So one of them is you can put a unit in deep strike.
Nice.
Yeah. And the other one is if you are slain, pick an enemy within an inch and roll a number of dice equal to its wounds. For each 6, they get a mortal wound.
But that's called Blaze of Glory,
Blaze of Glory.
Which is Bon Jovi singing to me right now.
Thunderstrike keyword. No idea what that means, but we'll soon find out.
We'll find out as we play though, right?
We certainly will.
Because we're going to have a go at this.
Yep.
Right, boom. But Cruel Boys.
Cruel Boys.
So there's 2 views on this, isn't there? There's two. One is they don't look like orcs and I don't like them. And the other is they don't look like GW orcs, I really like them.
I'm more in the latter. I also don't really consider them orcs, which is probably why I don't have a huge amount of concern with it. They're probably like marked down as orcs, but they seem like they've already
marked down.
They've already said that the hobgoblins are coming back to some extent.
Right.
They've been referenced because the chaos dwarfs, they're coming back. So
chaos dwarfs.
The hobgoblins are following them. I kind of see these as sort of a middle ground between the two, where it's like a separate evolutionary line between orcs that ended up living in swamps and being cruel boys.
So as an outsider looking in, this seems part of exactly the same process that you just said about those.
Yes.
These are called Rooks. These specifically are gut rippers, as well as being cruel boys. This is part of a longer term plan of Games Workshop to have separate armies within a faction with slightly divergent scopes. And I think the cynic in me says it's so that you buy the same set of models 20 times over. Because if you want to play Evil Sons and you want to play Snake Bites in Warhammer, you're going to ultimately need 2 different types of models. They're going to look different. Visibly say, no. At some point they'll be able to say, no, that's a snake bite.
I think
these are gut rippers.
A little bit more.
Because they don't look like savage orcs at all.
They don't know.
At all.
Long term, I think they're phasing out everything that happened before Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
So
so they can bring it back though.
Well, the older orcs, it seems like any of the older kits that happen, they are troops. But there's another new troop that also happens at the same time. So something that I would previously have thought of as like, that's more of an elite slot thing. They're like, no, this is troops in this force.
Right, this is new.
So yeah,
new generation
the orcs
troops.
especially. So they had the old art boys is what they used to be called. I don't remember what they're called now.
Yeah.
The older models, which are, they're fine, but they are a little dated at this point. But they brought out the bigger ones. I really wish I remembered these terms.
The bigger ones!
But yeah, they are battle line. So you can just take them as troops.
Right.
So there's kind of no reason for you to buy the old ones.
I'm loving the use of multi-edition language. You've got battle line, troops, all of those things. Yeah, it's a James been in again. He's been in it a long time. We should probably start talking about the Orcs Brews, shouldn't we, and the stats. All right. If you're new here and you're not seeing the way we've been recording because of the kind of COVID situation, James, in relation to where we are sat now in the room, he is over there. So when I keep looking like this and sort of leaning back, it's not because I don't know where the camera is. I am talking to another man the same. We're just trying not to, spend too intimate a time together. We've also got separate sets to unbox and all that kind of stuff. That's why it's a bit still a strange time. Onto the models, the killer boss and the stats. Let's talk about the killer boss. So you've got this lovely little guy on here, and he's cool. You've got
Stab grot.
He looks almost zombie-like, this boss guy. He's got a really strange look. I mean, he's very prominent on the box art, isn't he?
The two of them do have a weirdly sort of fictionalized gladiatorial look to them.
Yes. I think that's because of the partial armor, though. They've got like very heavily armored shoulders
and faceplates
and faces, but bare-chested. They're pushed. He's got a big spiky mace. Yeah. Again, you've got a base topper sculpted base, and looking at the peg positions, the one leg is definitely quite a bit higher than the other. So that's that. Or maybe one of those bits might actually hold a bit of scenery. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a little some reeds.
Let me find his other leg. No, his legs do go into those pinholes. Okay, good. So that is that, I'm afraid.
Well, there is a pin on the front into which some reeds are pinned as well. Like there's
yes, that plugs at the front. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that is. But half of this guy's foot is on the base. I mean, literally, his toes are on the base. So you're gonna have to use that base. God, he's got no toes. Wow. All right.
To the numbers.
So
very similar stats to the Knight Arcanum, because I think they're obviously designed to be opposite to each other, but worse armor save and worse bravery. Looking at the two of them, the killer boss has a variety of weapons. It would take me a while to go through them all, including the prized shiv, which I imagine is the
prized shiv. Is that not what his little gimboid has got?
Yeah, the stab grot's prized shiv. That's not his normal shiv. That's his favourite. That's the one he takes with him to war. So, looking at the two of them, he's got all part of the plan, which is that crawl boys within 3 inches, battle shock. So only one model will flee if you fail battle shock within 3 inches, which is quite big actually.
Yeah, and battle shock is the morale system.
Have terrible bravery. Bravery 5. Each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated to this unit and not negated, you may choose to risk this unit's stab grot.
Yes!
You hold them.
I'm always taking that option, even if it's not necessary.
If you do so, you must roll a dice. On a 1 to 5, the stab grot is killed and the wound is negated. On a 6, the stab grot is not killed and the wound is negated. Interesting.
So, so the question is, it's risky. The question is whether, Now, interestingly about this model, just because you'd mentioned about this range 2 fighting thing, this model has got 2 different fighting profiles at range 1 and range 2.
Yeah.
So at range 2, he's only got 2 attacks that do 1 damage. But at range 1, so if he's got that initiative to being able to move into you, he's got 4 attacks that do damage 2. With the Rusted Foe versus the Boss Hacker.
I'm happy to be wrong. I think you get both.
If you're in range.
If you're in range, yeah.
If you're in range, yeah. So this guy's, what I'm saying is he's got 2 ranges at which he fights, one of which is significantly more lethal.
No, so if you are at 2 inches, you get 2 attacks. Yeah. If you are at 1 inch, you get 4 attacks and 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's how that works.
Yeah. Okay. That's him.
Yeah, he's pretty good, to be honest.
And then
he's a force multiplier in comparison to
Absolutely.
Including his weird 6+ feel no pain that's also a 1 to 5 feel no pain but once.
So the Got Rippers then, are Sprue A, as it's called here, conveniently. Nice big sprue. So yeah, these have got a really different aesthetic to the other rocks. They've got really plain looking, the definition on their faces, they're almost zombie-like. Seeing these on the sprue rather than painted, they're very you used to like the big jowly square jawed orcs. These are a lot more kind of pointy, cone-heady.
Yeah, they've got sort of a gecko pointed face thing.
As
well. Yeah, they're cool.
I mean, they've still got a bit of an underbite in most cases. they've got those features, but they look a bit more from the wild rather than from a cartoon.
They form the slimy heart of the Cruel Boys.
The slimy heart? Slimy. So are these swamp orcs?
Yeah, they're swamp orcs. That's the whole
right.
So they use a lot of toxins and they have a lot of crocodilian creatures.
They look like swamp orcs. I didn't know these are swamp orcs.
I see.
Okay.
Swamp orcs, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So they have scare tactics as a rule. They also have 2-inch range. So the 2-inch range from
they've
the
got
other guys
spears that are nearly as big as the other guys.
Yeah. They don't have a rend on their weapon, and they don't hit and wound as well.
Right, but there are 10 of them rather than 5.
There's double. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's orcs. So scare tactics. They unnerve the enemy at the start of the charge phase. If this unit is more than 3 inches from all enemy units, you can pick one enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit that is not a hero or a monster and roll 2d6. Add 1 to the... Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Minus hit rolls if you're lucky.
Right.
That's what
they throw a debuff up to 12 inches away that might cause minus to hit.
Yes.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's just throwing little bits of toxin at them or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Now realising these are swamp orcs, I think that they have nailed that.
Yeah, they really have.
I think the clothing, the look,
right.
You know, especially in reference to other orcs, they look like these are the orcs that live in the swamp.
Yes.
They look different.
Which is why I'm quite interested in them. Because normal orcs, I don't mean to be rude to normal orcs, but it's normally, I'm going to do big crump stuff, and the biggest orc is the best orc kind of thing.
Yeah.
But with these guys, there's sort of a slimy heart to them. It's an
there is a bit of a slimy heart to them, yeah. They look like they're more likely to sort of hide in some reeds and poison you.
Yeah.
Rather than run out. And they look more malformed than overbuilt, you know. They're adapted to their environment. And there's even down to like they got little bits of reeds and so forth on there. I didn't realise there were swamp orcs, and now I'm totally on board. I want to keep these. You're gonna have to buy another set. Swamp orcs.
You've got 2 sets, man. So their allegiance abilities, excellent segue there. Venom encrusted weapons.
Venom encrusted weapons. This guy looks like he just wiped his ringer on it, mate. That's what that is. Right.
So rather than just on a 6 you get a mortal wound, on a 6 you cause a number of mortal wounds equal to the weapon's damage characteristic. So normally it's you roll a 6, you get 1 mortal wound, whereas this is you roll a 6, you get however much damage that weapon was doing in mortal
Which in the case of the normal infantry is 1, but in case of the boss with his big choppy up close weapon is 2.
It's 2, yeah.
So that's quite interesting.
And you're going to end up with stuff like the big boss guy who's on a crocodile, who's going to be getting...
You can get that dude riding a crocodile?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, it's the thing with Sigmar though, isn't it? You got the army with the turtle riders and the dolphin riders.
I don't have Deepkin.
And whatever that cow elf creature that looks a bit like a llama with a face. I don't know what that was. I mean, I loved it and it disgusted me at the same time.
There's a split in a lot of the new Age of Sigmar Peter stuff where people are like, that looks really dumb, and other people are like, look at the giant cow hat. I want an army.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at them, they're on eels.
Riding eels. How does that work? Magic, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're playing Warhammer Age of Sigmar because you want a game that's credible, you're in the wrong system, mate. It's not what it's about.
It's exactly as serious as you allow it to be.
Exactly. Right, you also get some pack of bases. Yeah, everything it says on the tin. Look, in terms of getting started, you can pick this up from a third party for 20% off generally. I got these from Wayland Games. If you want to get it from them in the UK, we've got an affiliate link down below. That would be great. I think that there could be different model choices. I don't know how well this is going to perform. We'll try it. But in terms of it being a starter system, you've got all you want, and you've got built-in escalation. And what it hasn't done, by the way, which it did in the other one, the Storm Strike was it called, we looked at before, last edition, was it had cards for units that you didn't have, which I thought was a really dirty bit of marketing. It's like, oh, this would be nice.
Did they have the Allegiance Abilities cards in the previous?
I don't think so.
No, 'cause this is a really nice card, to be honest. Because I'd forget that every time, but now there's a card in front of it.
There are other sets that escalate up. There's a £60 one and a £90 one. We might look at these, but we are going to get these painted and have a bit of a play through these testing scenarios. We're not talking next week, but we're not talking Christmas either. We're gonna do this in a reasonable time frame because I'm just gonna get a gold rattle can, mate, and then I'm golden. Boom! Yeah. All right then, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and found it useful. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. If you're still here and you're looking for ways to support the channel, there's obviously a lot of ways down in the description, but a key way is to use our affiliate links to Whaling Games and others. You buy your models from them, it doesn't cost you a penny more, and we earn a little bit of commission. Thank you. Start again, I just spat and it's probably gonna like show that. I'm really sorry. But we've only just
the footage down to 20%. Follow it with a red circle.
Yeah. And this is also why, when you get to talk about blooper reels and stuff, is when we do two people unboxings, and we get that, because we're just two dickheads. It doesn't matter which other person is here, it still seems to be two dickheads is the order of business. So our friendship is based upon being stupid.
It is, very much so.
Right.
It is. You removed the bed from this room a little while ago, that was weird.
Now for them, they're going to think that's even more weird. This is my spare room. There wasn't a bed for video making purposes.
A whole new meaning to hard cam. Right, so.
That's going in at the end, not in the thing.
Historically, women just wore men's armour when they had to, so.
Historically, women don't wear armour, James.
But when they have to.
When was that? Joan of Arc?
I've only seen the film. I never met her personally. I hear she was lovely.
Do you hear that?
No, I don't.
We burnt her as a witch, mate.
She wasn't all that nice.
She wasn't nice. She was a warmonger.
She was, yeah.
You don't get to be a popular folk hero with a religious bent and burnt as a witch by being nice. You get to that by being nice.
Welcome to the bonus at the end of the video.
Guys, I tell you how it is. Joan of Arc, witch. Mate, she's hearing the voice of God. There's two options. Either we're in the wrong and that is the voice of God, or it isn't the voice of God, it's another voice.
The only media representation I've seen of Joan of Arc.
Is that moving?
No, it's Bill and Ted.
Oh, mate! Mate, I'm sorry, I backed down to your superior knowledge.
Thank you very much. I think she's into exercise now.